Who do you like better, Amon Ra or Debo?
Come on, bro.
All right.
All right. All right. Let's get it. Yo, welcome back to another great episode of Across the Plane. I am one of your three hosts tonight, Marcel, aka at Styles underscore Rapist Life. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Twitter because it's cool. Feels still QB1 is my still name still, and you already know it's feeling good with our quarterback, even though the team still stinks. But yeah, make sure you give me a follow.
Yo, what is going on, folks? This is Will. Welcome back. It has been a little bit since I've been on the show. You can go ahead and check me out at Sports Talk Willie. And as always, check out the main page. That's all at Across the Plane. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got the 8-1 Minnesota Vikings. Skull Vikings, baby. Kirko Thuggins is on an incredible tear. And we just beat the Bills. I can't wait to get into it.
And Jake the rookie, THA, like across the plane. Welcome back, everybody. And for all those in Skull Nation, what a freaking week, man. I've never seen a game like that.
Yeah, definitely quite a weekend for Minnesota sports. But we're going to get into all of it. Of course, we always got to save the Minnesota sports talk for last. There's a lot going on around the league, including a brand new MVP front runner. And it's so funny because we're so used to this guy being great that we're just kind of like, oh, yeah, I guess he's MVP. And that's Patrick Mahomes, who just had a game where he threw 4 touchdowns. Credit, it was against Jacksonville. But still, if I had to pick right now, we're not halfway through the year, Patrick Mahomes would definitely be my MVP as it stands right now.
Yeah, I can agree. I say him throwing for 4 touchdowns this week. I don't think he's thrown for less than 250 yards in any game. Like, I don't quote me on that yet.
I'm looking. Don't you worry.
235. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he has one game with 235 and one with 249.
But still, those games he had combined 5 touchdowns and 1 interception. So, he's doing pretty good. He's 25 touchdowns halfway through the season, or a little bit past halfway. I guess.
Like he's played 9 games. So just
9 games. So yeah, halfway for him. So I think my 50 touchdown prediction is looking good right now.
So here's a question. He currently has 2,936 yards.
Mhm.
So I know before the show we made a joke that he could go for 60, but we obviously think that's not really realistic.
No.
But is 6,000 yards realistic? Could he possibly get?
What's he sitting at right now?
2,936 in 9 games. He has 8 games left.
Yeah, that's realistic.
He could possibly have 6,000 passing yards this season.
I mean, the way that offense is run, and especially the way it's been run lately, like he's just been getting more and more as it's going on. 338, 423 bye week, 446, 331. And the only reason he got 331 is because it wasn't even a close game. If they're in a close game, he's getting 400 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he threw the ball 68 times just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he's looked incredible. I almost feel like he had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder coming into the season because everyone was trying to act like the Chiefs offense and wasn't going to do anything without Tyreek Hill.
And I'm not going to say he's a runner, but when he does run, he makes smart runs and he gets yards when he does run.
His next stretch is pretty tough against the pass. Chargers, Rams, Bengals, Broncos, and Houston.
They're
Houston.
They're just ranked tough because they haven't faced Pat Mahomes yet.
That is very much true. I'm not going to take. I'm not gonna take anything away from Pat. There just hasn't only two defenses I've seen give him trouble, and that's Mike Vrabel's defense and then the Tampa Bay defense. And even then, Tampa Bay only did it once. He torches them every other time they play.
Yeah, they can be the best defense right now, but once they face Pat Mahomes, their ranking gonna slip. Everyone, I don't know if everyone's gonna agree with me on that, but I think that's the point I'm trying to make is he's better than whatever they got.
I agree. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes for MVP, man. I am all for it. I'm all for it. So, while we were gone, well, I should say in the gap between our shows, Frank Reich was fired, Indianapolis head coach. Really, I think that came to a surprise to no one. It definitely was a long time coming. I think both teams need a fresh start. But who is the intern head coach was quite surprising. The Indianapolis coach decided to hire Jeff Saturday.
You say it's surprising, but it didn't really surprise me.
I mean, I would like to know the odds when Frank Reich was fired of Jeff Saturday taking over when he has no head coaching experience.
I mean, I don't know what the Vegas odds were, but just the name and the franchise that did it doesn't surprise me. It's a familiar name, and it's the Colts. They're poverty franchise. It's like just something that they would do. He's probably really cheap.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, and you know what? They won. Granted, they're playing the dumpster fire Raiders, but
we'll get into that.
But he won first week, so Jeff Saturday is a winning NFL head coach so far, and so
He's never lost a game.
We can say
undefeated.
Clearly,
win percentage of 1.
Clearly, it was the right move, at least for last week.
Yeah, I mean, they played the Raiders. The thing is, I don't know.
If they can get some momentum.
Yeah, if they could make it some momentum. I was watching Pat McAfee, and they were talking about how this could open the door for a lot more like players to just step into coaching where they don't have to go through the grind of working their way up through the ranks.
It's political too. A lot of times, it's just like the thing about it's like I don't know who is in charge of the hiring process, but I could just see it just being like Jim Irsay just being said, shot of whiskey said. Jeff.
Well, so Jeff kind of went into detail on what happened during the game, during Frank Reich, during the Patriots game. That's what it was. During the Patriots game, Jim called him and asked him what he would do to help improve the offensive line. I guess Jeff gave his answer, and then somehow led it to him accepting the head coaching position.
See, that just sounds like some drunk Jim Irsay in the fucking in his box, like during the game. Just, I need a new guy right now. Like looking through his phone, Jeff Saturday.
Like, man, I need to hire
Peyton
somebody.
probably said no.
Peyton's gonna say no.
He probably tried Peyton. Peyton probably didn't even pick up. He said, "Oh, Jim drunk on a Sunday." Like,
he's like, oh, I wonder what Dallas Clark is up to.
Yeah, I don't know, but the offensive line was improved. Jonathan Taylor actually got a touchdown. Looked better.
He looked great.
Yeah, he looked like he was back. Yeah, man. Congrats to Jeff Saturday on the win and on the job, man. Like, you could definitely question the incompetence of Jim Irsay for sure, and Chris Ballard and the Indianapolis Colts organization. But I mean, if you're Jeff Saturday, if someone calls you and says, "Hey, we want to offer you a NFL head coaching job," of course you're going to take it.
You're not going to say no to
that. Yeah,
unless you're Peyton Manning, but like that's because he got a show on ESPN or wherever he's doing his little Monday night cast.
So yeah, man, congrats to Jeff Saturday. But there's a couple teams in the AFC West who everyone. I'm not gonna say everyone. I would say a majority of people thought this was gonna be the best division of football, and I'll say I'm included in that group. But man, there have just been two huge disappointments in the AFC West. So who would you say is the bigger disappointment, the Las Vegas Raiders or the Denver Broncos?
Broncos.
Really,
It's
Broncos.
tough. It's tough.
both teams have such, I'd say, higher expectations than what they've been producing.
The thing about the Broncos is it's all on one guy. Really, to me. Or it's on two guys. The coach stinks.
So
And, and Russell
I'll-
Wilson.
Yeah. I would say this. Both teams just made terrible decisions at head coaches. Like
Raiders
just
stink too.
like they just made awful decision at hiring head coaches. One, Nathaniel Hackett has not been good when he doesn't have Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback, and Russell Wilson is no Aaron Rodgers. And it feels like everyone outside of it feels like everyone kind of knew that. But he got the job anyway. And then Josh McDaniels, I think a crazy stat I saw today. He started his coaching career 6-0, and he's 7-24 since. He's won 7 games in 31 games since he started 6-0.
Well, he's probably getting fired.
I don't think the Raiders are going to fire. I think there's a higher chance Broncos fire Nathaniel Hackett than it is the Raiders fire Josh McDaniels. I think they're going to give him another year. I think the Broncos. So I'll say the Broncos are a bigger disappointment.
Russell Wilson's a fraud.
Yeah, because they traded all those picks for Russell Wilson, and they're really stuck with him and paid him all that money. While the Raiders do have a way out and they're probably going to tank bad enough.
You could just fire your coach.
Yeah, and then you can draft
Restart.
a quarterback if you don't believe in Derek Carr too.
Exactly.
But the Broncos are kind of stuck with Russell Wilson, so they have to make moves around him.
I don't know. They just got a first rounder. Bradley Chubb.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They do have a first round pick, but it's a bad one. It's Miami's. It's not going to be a good one.
That's around the time like a Teddy Bridgewater goes. That's about the time some greats have gone. Lamar Jackson, yeah.
So yeah, I would roll with the Broncos. The Raiders shouldn't surprise me. They just should have never hired Josh McDaniels to begin with. But the Broncos quarterback has both quarterback and head coach have both underachieved significantly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'll say the Raiders are more disappointing just because I was higher on them. I had the Broncos. See what I told these up. I had the Broncos going 9-8 on the season, and I had the Raiders going 11-6. So I guess I would say the Raiders are more disappointing for me. I mean, it's just.
I don't know. I've been watching more of the Broncos. Probably that's probably
their defense
why they're
is really good.
Their defense is so good, and it's not even the receiver's fault. They're getting open. He just can't throw it. He can't make the throws. It's just.
I saw a stat today that said if the Denver Broncos scored at least 18 points in every game, they'd be 8-1.
See, that is the most disappointing. Because the thing is you should be good. The Raiders, they've been giving up points. Both sides of the ball is not looking great. With the Raiders, you can't really put a pin on one thing. With the Broncos, is really play calling, and he can't make throws.
Yeah, what a fall from grace for Russell Wilson.
They got to change the offense.
Yeah, that's why I think Hackett is fired, because you can't move on from Russell Wilson. He's just making too much money. You gave up too many assets. So you have to roll with Russell for at least another season or two. I think Hackett gets fired. I don't think McDaniels gets fired, though. I think Mark Davis is crazy enough to roll with him a second season. Broncos also have a new owner, too. So They may be slightly less patient being new to this business.
Yeah. I
Uh,
think that's tough. But who thought the best division of football would be the AFC East?
Yeah, that's crazy. They're all 4 teams are over 500. I mean, they've just kind of just beaten each other up. Kind of. The Patriots have a win over the Jets. The Dolphins. The Jets have a win over both the Bills and Dolphins. Miami has a win over Buffalo. That division, and then Miami also has a win over New England, I believe.
I think Buffalo's only beat New England.
Buffalo and New England have not played yet.
They haven't played. So
No.
Buffalo has no division wins.
No division wins yet. All 3 of their losses are divisional losses. No, that's not true. They lost. They just lost to the Vikings. Yeah. Their previous 2 were divisional losses.
Okay.
Yeah, the AFC East is just absolutely insane right now. Last time we were on the show, I brought up that there was a chance that both New York City teams would make the playoffs. Jake and Trez said they didn't think either of them were going to make the playoffs.
I'll probably take that back, but
I said that I believe there's a higher chance that both of them make it than neither of them make it. I still have concerns about the Jets. The AFC is just super deep. And I don't believe in their quarterback like at all. Zach Wilson, as of now, is just not good. He's not that good of a player. I think he has the ceiling of a game manager, and that's really it. But I don't think he really has the mentality to be a game manager. He's definitely one of those guys who likes to take risks and sling the ball. So yeah, I'm still kind of questionable on the Jets, but their defense is really good. But the AFC is so deep. But I think New England is very much still in the race. They're only half a game behind. No, I'm sorry. They're a full game behind the Jets and the Jets and the Bills, who are currently 3rd, and they're only a game and a half behind Miami.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. Will we see the first time 4 teams in the same division? That'd be crazy.
Yes, I don't think we see it though. I still think I think either the Chargers or Bengals is going to get one of those spots.
Okay.
And again, I'm still kind of concerned about the Jets, man. I think they have a playoff level defense for sure, but I think their quarterback play kind of holds them back a bit. So it's going to be interesting to see how they end their season.
But as of now, are they all 4 in? Like if the playoffs were to start today?
Yes, I think they are. I think that's how it is right now. I know the Chargers are also 5-4. Let's see.
Chargers and Bengals are also 5-4.
It's still loading. How do I not have good signal in my own house?
But at least 3 of them are in if the playoffs were to start today.
Yeah, I believe. Oh, here it is. Jeez, about time. Yeah, currently all four of them are in if the playoffs started today.
Patriots hold it over Bengals and Chargers.
Yep.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, man, a whole division dominating the AFC playoffs. And of course it'd be the AFC East.
And of course it would be the year you predicted it would happen too. But for a different division, that's funny.
Raiders and Broncos, man. It's so disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, AFC East is crazy right now, but I'm super excited to see how that division turns out. I think there's a good chance that all 4 of them do finish above 500, though. I could definitely believe that. I had the right idea. That it's just on opposite coast, right conference, opposite coast. That's all.
Patriots and Jets play next week.
Ooh, that's gonna be a really good game. Patriots already beat them in New York,
and then Patriots got to play the Vikings and then the Bills. So hopefully the Patriots
might lose both of those.
Yeah, hopefully the Patriots can get at least one out of those three.
Yeah, those three that's a tough 3-game stretch. Think placing three teams all above 500.
Patriots Bengals later in the season is going to be big, and then the Patriots finish out Dolphins Bills, and they gotta win those.
Yeah, they're gonna have to win at least one of them.
Yeah,
They're both in New England, aren't they? Though.
yeah.
Right?
So I don't think it's gonna be. The Patriots are gonna have to win all their non-conference playoff. It's gonna be tough for all four to make it. Possible, but
Hey,
tough.
anything's possible.
They have to beat the Bills and the Dolphins. I would
Yeah.
say.
Looking forward to see how the AFC East plays out. And now moving to the NFC North. Real quick, I guess shout out the Packers. You guys still suck, but they did beat the Cowboys in a very entertaining game in which they had a little Christian Watson magic. So shout out to them. But in Chicago, man, let me tell you, it is a weird feeling going on in Chicago. Because on the one hand, we're just struggling mightily to close out games. Our defense is terrible. Our offensive line is terrible. Our receiving core is not great. But none of that seems to matter because we have Justin Fields as our quarterback. And it is just a great feeling to have.
On the watch.
Yeah, I feel the way watching him is how I felt watching Devin Hester. Except this guy plays quarterback, and I'm just like not sure how to handle that. I've never been super excited to watch a Bears quarterback play. Every time the Bears play, I'm always thinking, all right, all we need is the quarterback is just to not be bad. That's it. But now,
He can make nothing into a touchdown.
well,
Like,
but now we have a quarterback that is great, and everything around him is bad, especially the defense. Like, my God, man. We trade. I still have no problem with trading Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn. I still think those are the right moves because I mean, even with them, you weren't making the playoffs anyway.
his awareness on the like where he is in the pocket just is very impressive to me.
It has improved so much. He used to be so bad at it. Like it was like just I've watched every game he's played in, and he just used to be so bad at figure out when to step up and where he was in the pocket, when to move out. He used to be terrible at. He has just been so much better at it this year. And it's unfortunate that it's not leading to wins. It's crazy. The Bears have averaged 31 points over their last 4 games and 385 yards in their last 5. And they've won one.
Y'all don't want wins, I'm telling you.
But yeah, I agree.
No,
I agree.
You should just be happy. Things are finally starting to look like they're
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just want them to look good, and hopefully your defense loses the game. That's how I feel.
And that has been my point. I feel they've lost 6 of their last 7 games, and I feel better now than when they were 2-1.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Fields was not playing well at the beginning of the year,
and now maybe top 5 pick. Like
I don't know, man. There are some like
top
really
10.
bad teams in the NFL still. Raiders. I don't know when the Raiders are going to win again. Houston.
Yeah,
we already got the
Houston's bad.
tiebreaker over them. Like the Saints. There's a lot of bad teams.
Steelers.
A lot of teams. But either way, if they do, even if they don't end up taking anyone, someone's going to want to come trade up for a quarterback.
What's your ideal first round pick for the Bears? Like what position?
Sexy pick is wide receiver. The smart pick is probably edge.
Yeah, I would say Bears need to revamp their defense.
Yeah, the defense is just really bad right now. It's like to the point where it's just almost like, maybe we don't need to add a receiver. Maybe we should fix the defense first.
They need like an identity player like they've had like the Briggs and the Urlacher and like somebody who can just be like that guy, you know?
I agree. So personally, I think they're going to go wide receiver first round, and I wouldn't be surprised. They have 8 picks. If like the next 5 were all defense. Like I think that's a strategy. Or
I say you go
early.
Defense first and then go wide receiver. Yeah, wide receiver, you can get a good one in a second.
Even though I agree, I wouldn't be against that strategy, but I am a big fan of Jordan Addison and Jackson Smith, Yaba. So I wouldn't mind either one of them being Chicago Bears and us going defense. But yeah, man, it's been so fun to watch Justin Fields, and he's just been so electric. It's so crazy to have for the Bears to have a good quarterback, to have good quarterback play, man. Just the Bears quarterback is one of the best fantasy quarterbacks in football right now. That is insane to say. A Bears quarterback.
Well, that's because they have the number one rushing attack in the NFL.
Yeah, 225 yards or more in the last 5 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's very much just like what the Ravens ran in Lamar Jackson's rookie and sophomore year. Unfortunately, we don't have the defense that the Ravens had. I get it just blows my mind at 31 points per game in the last 4, and you only won one of them. In Bears history, I just don't know how many Bears teams could say, yeah, 31 points is not enough because the defense is that bad. But
yeah,
but it's okay.
That's what
you
I'm
guys,
but that's what I'm saying with the draft pick. Like that's why I
Yep.
think you guys have to go defense.
I agree. We are entertained. We're entertaining to watch now.
Yeah.
Which right now, Devontae Smith just got a touchdown. We are entertaining to watch right now. And before, when they were bad, it was always bad offense and the defense was good. And so we were always like losing games like 21-14, and it was just an ugly game to watch. But now they're electric to watch, and you just know you're probably gonna get a big play on the other side because the defense can't get any pressure to the quarterback. Yeah, man, it's exciting, and we're 3-7. I'm excited. I'm excited for a 3-7 football team. I don't know how many Bears teams I can honestly say that about. Justin Fields is the real deal, man. I'm so happy. So happy.
I mean, and like we can blame him a little bit. He did throw the pick 6.
Oh, I mean,
So yeah.
I mean, he still has plenty to work on. That's for sure.
Yeah.
He could definitely improve his game.
So that's part of why they lost too. But like he put up some points for the other team. So like
I know this is actually the second game in a row where the Bears offense actually outscored the other team's offense, but we had a special team error last week and then the Justin Fields pick 6. He said after the game, "You'll never see me do that again." And I was like, come on, man. I don't believe it. like I don't believe. I've seen some great quarterbacks make some bad throws, man. Aaron Rodgers threw 3 picks last week, and he's one of the smartest quarterbacks of all time. Peyton Manning once threw, I think, 5 in a game. Like, come on, man. Like you're gonna do it again. It's gonna happen. Yeah, man. It's super excited. It's super exciting to be a Bears fan, man. Right?
Bears or Falcons?
I would say I would take the Falcons to win, but
exciting game. Take the over.
For fantasy owners, Falcons give up the 6 most points to quarterbacks, and Atlanta is Justin Fields' hometown. So
take the over.
For everyone that has Justin Fields in fantasy, I would highly suggest starting him this week, because I feel like he is going to be electric again, and I would not be surprised if the Bears lose like 38-35 again. But I don't know, man. Can Atlanta put up points? Like, I think that is questionable. I guess the run game is good, but they're not going to throw the ball very well. Start Kyle Pitts. Will, go ahead. Next week against Chicago. Next week against Chicago, man. Start Kyle Pitts. He's going to go off.
Well, should we finally talk about the game of the week?
Game of the year, man. That was game of the year.
So far.
We had catch of the year, game of the year, questionable reffing of the year. Like, that game had a little bit of everything. Comeback of the year. Like, and I'm saying this as a Vikings hater. That was probably the most impressive Vikings regular season win, maybe in the Kirk Cousins era. Probably the most impressive. On the road, in the Buffalo. Josh Allen's playing. Come back down 17. 4th and 18. And I mean, credit, you were just like, screw it, Justin Jefferson down there somewhere. But man,
really.
But man, that was impressive by the Vikings, man. They're definitely looking like the comeback kids this year. Honestly, I will also say this.
That was an emotional roller coaster, though.
They're like a better version of the Timberwolves. It's like the first quarter, they're like, oh, this team's really good. And then the second and third, it's like, shit, this team is just so garbage. And then the fourth quarter hits, it's like, oh, okay, maybe this team is pretty good. That's kind of how the Timberwolves season has been. And that's what the Vikings are, except the Vikings are just
But
not
we're
as
pulling it
awful.
out.
Yeah, Vikings are just not as awful in the middle
We're
of the game.
getting the
We're just-
wins.
We're just having a special season right now, and I really hope it, carries into the postseason. I mean, we'll see what
That's-
happens with the Eagles tonight, but I mean, we're in the race for the number one seed in the NFC, a potential bye, which is crazy to think about. I mean,
That
Kirk on
finish was
Fridays,
insane.
that was one of the craziest games I had seen. I'm super pumped. This team just seems special. We just got the swagger with us this year. We're just making the right plays at the right time. Our defense, is that perfect bend don't break right now. We just make plays. We're not a shutdown defense, but we make big plays, and Dalvin's running the ball well. Justin Jefferson's the best wide receiver in the NFL. We just traded for Hawkinson, who's a great target for Kirk. Like it's a good time to be a Vikings fan, and I'm super excited for the postseason at this point. I mean, we're 8-1. It's time to start looking
Exactly.
towards the postseason.
All the haters need to shut up. We got 8-1. Record speaks for itself. We just beat the Bills in a comeback. I've never seen a game like that. Like 4th and 18.
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson made the most incredible catch I've ever seen. It took me like 6 seconds to even comprehend that he caught it. Like I was just sitting there like, what? The turnover? Like what happened?
Mhm.
And then we march all the way down there just to get stopped on 4th and goal. And then at the 1, and then they turn the ball over. We recovered in the end zone to take the lead. And then we almost lose in the last minute drive by Josh Allen, who just marches down the field, just runs down the field, nobody touching him.
Yeah, them playing off as much as they were was a questionable decision to end that game. It was honestly the same mistake Buffalo made against Kansas City last year.
Yeah.
They were basically doing the same thing. Yeah, man. Honestly, I think the Vikings should probably be favored in every other game. I think they're underdogs against Dallas next week, and in Minnesota, I just don't agree with that. 3:30 kickoff. I think Vikings should be favored. I would take the Vikings in that game too. They should be favored in every game for the rest of the year. I don't know if they win everyone because they're 7-0 in close games.
I was expecting us to be the favorite.
No, Dallas is 2-point favorites right now. But
I can see Dallas winning, but I was expecting us to be the favorite. And right now it says, 1.5 plus 100 money line.
I think Vikings are eventually going to drop at least one more to somebody. Just the numbers say that when you're 7-0 in close game, one of those is probably just not going to go your way eventually. At least one. I don't think it's going to be multiple. I think they're proving that they can close out a lot of close games now. But I mean, yeah, I think I don't know if a lock for a top 2 seed, but they're definitely a favorite to get it. Philadelphia is currently losing, but they just got a pick, so we'll see how that goes. And plus, Philadelphia has the tiebreaker over them.
I've never seen Kirk Cousins this confident.
Kirk Cousins is swaggy right now. I'm a Kirk Cousins hater. He got some swag to him right now.
Yeah, he's running the ball, not scared, lowering his shoulder. Like I don't know if you saw that in the red zone.
He's like that suburban dad that you always thought was dorky, and then you found out he like smoked weed in college, and like, oh, he's kind of cool. Like that's kind of who Kirk Cousins is right now. It's like, all right, yeah, this guy is kind of cool.
But he's definitely suburban dad. Like
he's like, oh yeah, you guys could just smoke in the garage like that. That's who Kirk Cousins is right now. He is you could just smoke in the garage dad right now.
Yeah, as long as you let me wear your chains.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, this is your friend chain? Like, yeah, try it on, Dad. Oh, am I hip now? Like, that's who Kirk Cousins is. Nah, man. Congrats to the Vikings, man. Y'all are having a fun season. Like,
Justin
I
Jefferson is the greatest receiver of all time.
okay.
Um,
He may not, he's arguably not even the greatest Vikings receiver of all time.
and not yet, but he's on pace to be. And I'm gonna just say this right now. This is like I didn't watch Randy Moss's rookie year. Like I did, but like I was really young.
Mhm.
This is like me watching. I feel like it's like history repeating itself. Like this is gonna be one of the guys that we call the GOAT.
Hey man, Justin can play, man. Justin can definitely play. It's gonna be interesting. I'm
Did
really
you
curious.
see that catch?
The
That's
yeah, on 4th and 18, that was crazy. I'm really curious to see what the Vikings do with Kirk Cousins, assuming they don't win a Super Bowl. If they win a Super Bowl, then I mean, like you pretty much have to run it back with them. I guess you don't have to, but it's
I
more
say
than likely you're gonna run it back with them. But I'm
i-
curious to know what they're gonna do at quarterback next year.
if you can, not saying he hasn't earned more money, but we can't pay him more money. So like I say, like if you could like restructure him and say like, hey Kirk, listen, we like you. We almost did it this year. Cause like at this point, like we're contested for the bye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
Vikings are definitely Super Bowl contenders as it stands right now, for sure.
so like if we can get him for the low so we can get some more pieces, like or at least one more piece, one more
Would you
guy.
would you trade up in the draft? A la, I think the
No,
Chiefs did that
we
for
don't
like
trade up in the draft. What do you mean? We
for a
trade back.
quarterback. You wouldn't trade up for a quarterback? I feel like the rest of the team is pretty set. I do feel like Kirk Cousins kind of gives you a glass ceiling. And again, it's quite possible that maybe this is the year they put it all together and make the run to the Super Bowl. They have been that impressive this year, but I do think Kirk Cousins kind of gives them a glass ceiling for the playoffs. If you do, it's like say win a playoff series and then he struggles in the next round, like and you're picking like 25, do you go like the Chiefs did
I,
and trade up? And
you
then
know,
you could sit your guy because you have Kirk. You can sit your guy for a year.
isn't this his last year, Kirk?
No, I think he's
Or-
under contract for another year, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
So yeah,
I'm
we'll
just saying
talk
that
about
that's something.
contract next year.
Yeah, I think that's just something that should be on the table. Go ahead and you say
No, don't draft a quarterback. No, we need a draft. We're gonna have to replace somebody else. Yeah, I say draft the offensive line every
in the
or
first round.
yeah. I don't
I don't
like
know.
Brian O'Neill.
Wow, man, he used to be easily your best offensive lineman.
He is, but like it's just I'd rather not pay him so much money.
I don't know.
Or
I think go ahead, let him walk. Bears will sign him. Bears need to upgrade at right tackle, so we'll take him. Go ahead, let him walk. I agree. Draft the offensive lineman. I'm all for
the
it.
I don't know what the Vikings need. So maybe maybe
I,
draft
I,
a quarterback.
I'm just saying, man. I
But
think they
I don't
could.
trade up.
I think they could go like Kansas City, and if one of those top guys starts to drop by like pick, or like the Bears. Bears are picking 20th. I think the Vikings will pick lower than that. Which is why I said Kansas City. But you just a guy drops to 11 that you really like, and you go ahead and make the move on up, and you just sit him behind Kirk for a year.
Yeah, I say we got to draft linebacker or yeah, nose tackle or offensive line. Yeah,
Or quarterback.
or
Start it out
quarterback
there. Start it out there.
or corner. We'll throw the old Mike Zimmer out.
Oh man, all that to just draft a cornerback. Um, so yeah, man, that's kind of some stuff that's been going on in the NFL. We're gonna wrap up tonight's show, talking a little basketball and talking about our, uh, you know, they're pretty disappointing, Minnesota Timberwolves, but they did win yesterday, and they did beat a good Cleveland team on the road, even though it's without Mitchell and Allen. But I mean, those wins do matter, and they still do count. But yeah, man, Timberwolves have just been kind of disappointing. Honestly, I will still say this: the beginning of last year, I still feel like was more stressful than the beginning of this year, only because I wasn't sure what the solution was gonna be. Ooh, Dallas Goddard is down in pain. Because simply I didn't know what the solution was gonna be on the roster. They were terrible at rebounding. I just did not see a scenario where they were gonna get better at rebounding. But this year it just kind of feels like a chemistry issue where it just feels like this can be fixed as long as they're willing to put in the effort to fix it over time. Because they have the rebounding, I think they have the defenders. I think the biggest question mark is the point guard still. I know D'Lo had a good game, but I mean he's definitely not performing the expectations that's needed for this team. But I think they can turn it around. I still think they got plenty of time to kind of get it together. They did get a win in Cleveland. They play Orlando.
Do you want a hot
Wednesday.
take for me?
Go ahead.
We need to cut Rudy's minutes.
Mm,
Not say-
yeah, he's
He's
only playing like 32 minutes a night.
Yeah,
I think we just need to let it gel more, to be honest. Like,
I think he should play like 26, 27.
26, 20. That's one of the best defenders in basketball, man.
yeah, our defense, it just changes our defense. I still like the way that really impacts our team. I just think, I don't know, honestly, I think Ant's one of the biggest problems. Like right now, his body language on the court's been really bad. He just checks out of games, checks out of plays. And he's got to lock in. Obviously, D'Lo's had his problems, but I really don't think we can look at Rudy right now. I mean, he always
He
impacts
makes
the game
no,
defensively.
yes, I agree. But I'm saying when he's out there for long stretches, there's stretches where we don't score and we're not spreading the floor as well. And like
Yeah, but there are just also stretches, especially like
our 5-out offense can be fucking deadly, lethal. Like, man, we can't run it when he's out.
so. I'll say this. So there's two problems. So my biggest thing, Rudy Gobert defensively, is that everyone else is just so god awful at drop coverage. Like they're just constantly out of rotation, and like
We're giving up way too many open threes.
like it just amazes me how many times on the perimeter guys are just out of rotation because they're over helping for Rudy Gobert, man, the best rim protector in basketball. He does like they're so used to Cat being down there in drop coverage that they just immediately think, oh, I gotta come help because Cat's about to get cooked. I think that is by far the biggest issue on defense is that they just overhelp on those drives and leads to open threes. Offense, I just think the offense gets stagnant at times. And I mean, there's I think there's multiple reasons to that. Anthony Edwards, I do think kind of ball hogs and then ball watches a little bit too much for my liking. I would say the last couple of games though, he's definitely been more active and moving the ball though.
Yeah, he's been passing a lot the last couple of games. The ones I've watched.
So I will say I do believe he's making an effort in that department. And honestly, the offense hasn't been too bad in the last few games. It's mostly them giving up these open
50
threes.
pieces.
Yeah, they just allowed Darius Garland to go for 51. And Jaden McDaniels has kind of been underwhelming.
Yeah,
just a little bit. But he's still young. I still think he can improve. But offensively, honestly, the best person at utilizing Rudy Gobert on offense is Karl Anthony Towns. Like,
yes.
Cat is great at finding him. Like, it amazes me. Cat, I was reading a stat. Cat has thrown like the 4th most alley-oops in the league this year. Who would have thought?
Crazy.
Who would have thought? Like the rest of the top 6, I think, are all point guards. It was like Luka, Trey Young, I believe Darius Garland or John Morant was also up there. And then Cat was like number 4 on that list. So I think on offense, Cat and Gobert alone has honestly worked pretty well. I just think everyone else is still kind of struggling to figure it out. And it's another thing that Timberwolves fans is kind of having hard to accept. Like, this is still Karl-Anthony Towns' team. Like, I know everyone's super hyped on Anthony Edwards and, the hype. And I mean, I'm still high on Anthony Edwards. I still think he's going to be a great player, future multi-time All-Star, MVP level player. But right now, Karl-Anthony Towns is still the best player on this team.
I'm not worried about us offensively at all.
Yeah,
being honest.
Yeah, I think that's going to come together with time. They'll kind of figure out what everyone's roles are. And I mean, D'Lo's going to play like how he played against Cleveland. Then
they'll start shooting better. Exactly.
So. Yeah, and that's another thing. Those threes will start dropping. I mean, D'Lo's shooting like 29% from the field. That's not going to hold. Like he'll go on his stretch where he allows his field goal percentage to climb up to like 40, 41. And then, he'll probably go through another slump later in the year.
But one thing I will say is I think we should be getting to the free throw line a little bit more.
I mean, I think Rudy Gobert is leading the team in free throw attempts, if I'm not mistaken.
He is.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen. It should be Ant and Cat.
It should be Ant getting to the line like 8 times a game.
Yeah,
4 isn't right. Like either he's not getting calls or he's just not taking it enough.
His shots at the rim are actually up this season. At least when I last checked, that was a few games ago. They were actually up. He's driving
his
to the rim.
Dunks aren't up though.
No, his dunks are down, but he's driving to the line one more
Andrew
time.
Wiggins on us.
One more time than he was this year. Man, I would be so hurt if that happens. Because then we would trade him and then he's gonna be great somewhere else, and just wouldn't be able to handle that.
I love Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, man. They play Orlando next. That just screams a loss. Screams a loss. If they beat Orlando, I feel like they've turned the corner.
Is it tomorrow?
It's Wednesday.
Yeah, we can win on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
just not on Mondays.
I would just not be surprised if they went ahead and blew this game and lost to Orlando, and everyone's like, "Why can't we beat Orlando? We've never been able to beat Orlando. We didn't beat Orlando last year. It's in Orlando."
Maybe, but I think we got this. What do you think? Mo Bamba's going for like 40 or something?
Paulo might. And then they'll have like some obscure player off the bench. Terrence Ross.
Jalen Suggs.
Terrence Ross would just go absolutely insane. Hit like 6 threes in the fourth quarter.
Terrence Ross.
I don't know. I'm still not in full. I'm disappointed in the Wolves so far, but I'm still not in full panic mode. I still think they have the talent to kind of figure it out and fix this. I think if there's anything to be questioned is, do they want to fix this, or are they just going to be salty, whiny little babies about it? But I do think they're going to come together and be like, "Hey, guy, like we don't gotta like each other, but man, we getting paid to go out there and win games." Because I just can't believe Anthony Edwards went to the playoffs, was the best player on the team, and still hasn't got a contract extension. Decided, well, that was good enough for me. I don't need to get better.
Yeah, and Ant's only shooting. He's shooting worse than Rudy at the free throw line too. So
yeah, man,
need to fix that.
I don't know what's going on with him, but I think he'll kind of work himself into shape and kind of pick it up as the season goes along.
Is it the Popeyes?
Yeah, maybe he needs to start eating Popeyes again.
Oh, he stopped. He stopped eating Popeyes.
I think Cat just needs to call him out every time they lose, because last time Cat called him out about eating Popeyes, he dropped 30 and they won. So
Hey, probably ate a 30 piece right before. Like,
maybe Cat just needs to next time they lose, Cat just needs to go to the podium. Well, if he stops drinking strawberry shakes from McDonald's, I think he'll be okay. Uh yeah, man. I'm still excited for the Wolves basketball. Again, I still feel better at the beginning of this year than I did at the beginning of last year. Last year,
do you still
I-
think 2 seed?
I don't know, man. This NBA season's just been so weird, man. Isn't Utah the 2 seed right now? Like
Nuggets.
it's the Nuggets. Okay, that makes sense. But I mean, it's like Utah's up there, Portland's up there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. Like this NBA season's just not what I've expected so
Portland's
far.
the 1 seed.
See, like, come on, man. Like, and like James hasn't been that healthy. Like, he's played, but he's missed games with injuries.
You don't need Dame when you have Anthony
Anthony
Simons.
Simons. I don't know. I guess it's still in the realm of possibility. There's still a lot of games left. There's still over 70 games to play, I believe, for a lot. No, 68 games for the Wolves. They played 14. So, I mean, there's still a lot of games left. Anything could happen. I thought they would get off to a slow start. I like even with the bad opponents in the beginning of the year, I just didn't see a scenario where they were going to get off to a fast start because like their lineup was going to be tough to figure out.
Portland's just really well rounded, I think.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised if I said they would be a play-in team and then lose in the play-in tournament. But I mean, they do have Damian Lillard. Their defense should be improved now with Jeremy Grant and Josh Hart out there.
Justice Winslow too off the bench.
But yeah, man, Utah's up there right now. They're 10-4. Joel Embiid just had 50. Just had a crazy game last night. Actually, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, and Darius Garland all just had crazy games last night. But Joel Embiid kind of overshadowed the other two. Yeah, the NBA is just really weird right now. So I really don't know what to think of a lot of these teams. Like the Warriors, man, I have no idea what's going on with them.
Who's MVP right now?
Gotta be Giannis, right? Giannis or Luka?
Giannis, Luka, probably. I'd say Giannis just because of
if the
first
Warriors,
place.
If the Warriors can just start winning some games, it'd be Steph. But man, they are struggling to win games this year. Klay Thompson, it's amazing when Andrew Wiggins is your second best player because he's definitely been their second best player this year.
Mm-hmm.
Team's just not as good. Just not as good. And when Andrew is your third best player, your team is probably really good. When he's your second best player, your team's probably not as good.
All right, another question. Will Shy average 30?
I mean, who else on that team's going to score? I think he averaged 30 and they don't make the playoffs. Like, i.e. Jerry Stackhouse that one year. No one else on that team could score. Like, Josh Giddey is a good player, but he's not really a scorer. Lou Dort's a good player, not really a scorer. Where else are you going to get points from? I can see it. I could do. Question is, he might finish second behind Steph in scoring and Luka. He might finish third. He could average 30.
Right now, he's 7th.
At 30 points per game.
Yeah.
Man, this Eagles game is just insane right now.
He's behind Mitchell, Giannis, Tatum, Embiid, Curry, and Doncic.
Wow, Eagles just turned the ball over again.
There's 8 guys right now averaging 30 points.
Okay, so does that? How many of them stay at 30 or more? That's the question.
I think we end up with 6.
6 averaging 30 points per game. Man,
I think we have Luka, Steph, Giannis, Embiid, Tatum, and Shy. I think Mitchell and KD probably fall off.
I think Tatum falls off. What's Tatum at right now?
31.9. And he's played one more game than everybody. Or him and KD have played 14.
I think Tatum falls off, but I do think the rest of them stay at 30. I think
You think-
Jaylen Brown. I think
you think
Jaylen Brown's
Mitchell?
gonna pick it up. No, I think he falls off too. I like Giannis.
You think Ja could get to 30? He's at 28.8 right now.
I don't know. Desmond Bane's been playing really well. He's going to take a lot of that scoring load off him. And Jaren Jackson's about to come back. So I don't think Ja gets there. Yeah, I think Steph gets there because no one else on that team is just really scoring the ball very well. So I think Steph stays there. Lucas stays there because he has like no competition of taking the ball out of his hands. And Giannis, maybe Giannis and Embiid both kind of take a step back once Harden and Middleton get healthy, but both of them have already averaged 30 with those guys, so I wouldn't be surprised if they stay at 30. But that's probably it though. And Shy, because no one else in OKC is going to score.
Yeah, I mean, they're all averaging around the same field goal attempts per game.
Okay, I got one for Will. On the last show, we did overreactions through the first 2 weeks of the season. I want to know if you agree with this one, if I'm overreacting or not. My overreaction was Kawhi is not going to play another game this season.
I'm not gonna say it's an overreaction. Is that including the playoffs?
Yep.
It says goal is from the return soon.
But we heard that before.
He looked
I
pretty
think we've
good on
seen-
5-on-5 work.
I think we see him.
I
don't
think
know
we
how much. I think we see him.
I don't know, man. I'm getting the same, like, this feels like the same situation that year in San Antonio, man, where he played a few games and all of a sudden he wasn't ready and we just never saw him again. Like, if it's giving that same energy. Now, I know they said he's back to doing 5-on-5, but that doesn't mean anything for Kawhi Leonard, man. Either he's going to play and they still say he has no timetable to return. We don't even know once again, we don't know what the issue is. He's load managing for 15 straight games. Like,
The issue is Kawhi is not going to play until it's April because that's when Kawhi starts playing.
that's horrible decision. You can't just throw a star back in the lineup right before the playoffs and think you're going to win a championship.
Nah, he said I'm going to be fresh for the new season. Playoffs.
Man,
I think that's the strategy.
Also, LeBron has been out, which is significant. Not because the Lakers are going to be good, but it only delays him passing Kareem the more he sits out. So we really need to get LeBron back in there so we can get over this whole. Because that's the only reason we're watching the Lakers the rest of the year is for LeBron James to get that scoring record. We can get out the way. That could be all the talk for a week on the sports shows. And then hopefully we just stop talking about the Lakers. That's not going to happen, of course. They're the most popular franchise. But yeah, man, we need LeBron back on the court, man. We need him to get close to Kareem. I think if he had played every game and averaged what he was averaging, he would have broke it in game 46. I think he needs to play 40. Actually, no, he needs to play 46 more games, averaging what he's currently averaging to pass him. So we need to get back. We need to get him back in there so we can get this over with.
I say he doesn't pass him until next year.
Until
Not
next year,
not next season, but next year.
next calendar year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Honestly, it's gonna be like a marquee. It's either gonna be like in Miami or in Cleveland when he's gonna do it. Now I gotta see what the Lakers schedule is.
They don't play Cleveland. I think they play Cleveland like December 6th. He's not gonna do it then.
Yeah, no, it'll be in January or February by the time he does it. But it's gonna be a marquee matchup.
He's gonna do it January 24th versus the Clippers. Or maybe he'll do it on ESPN. That one's on TNT.
Let's see.
ESPN versus the Grizzlies.
Or in Boston, or against KD and the Nets, or
Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden. Yeah, Madison Square Garden would love to have that moment.
That's probably the one.
Or against the Warriors on February 11th, also on ABC.
I say just wait till March 3rd against the Timberwolves.
In a loss.
Yeah.
Is that at Target Center? That'd be awesome. I'm definitely
No,
watching
it's not. They play at Target Center at the end of the month.
Do it then. Yeah, March 31st. Do it then.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Lakers, they got this really good door dasher, Matt Ryan.
Yeah, he brought their food one day and they're like, hey, you want a who?
Hey, he's responsible for that win against Brooklyn.
Yeah, man. Also, shout out to Russell Westbrook, man. I think this is gonna be good for his career to come off the bench.
6 man of the year.
Westbrook is
He's like the heavy Vegas favorite to win 6
the
man of
thing.
year.
No, this is where it gets tricky. Westbrook is better without LeBron.
Yeah, but everyone knew that when they brought him there. Like that was the thing, that those minutes were at the stack, which is, again, I don't understand why the Lakers keep trying to bring in point guards to go with LeBron. LeBron does the only point guard that worked well for him was Kyrie Irving. That's because Kyrie Irving is also a great shooting guard. They need to stop trying to bring point guards in to take the ball out of LeBron's hands, especially ones that can't shoot.
Do the Lakers miss the playoffs? Is that an overreaction?
No, absolutely not. That's very much a proper reaction. All right. Eagles are currently down 5. Commanders have the ball. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. A minute 54 left. All righty. Well, Timberwolves, hopefully they go ahead and just kind of figure it out, start winning. I still think they are. I still feel pretty confident that they were going to be kind of overrated at the beginning of the season. And then just kind of pick it up late. You're right. Russell Westbrook is the favorite to win 6 man of the year.
Just like that.
That is something else. I will tell you that. Jalen Noel is plus 6,500. FYI. FYI, if anyone wants to place a small wager. I don't think he wins, but I still think he gets back in the conversation.
They got Westbrook on lock right now.
Yeah, he's gonna get a triple-double off the bench, and he's gonna have the most off the bench in NBA history. But anywho, go ahead and wrap it up tonight.
Eagles about to get the ball back?
No, they just punted. Commanders have the ball.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna go ahead and wrap up tonight's show. It's great to talk football, great to talk Timberwolves. Hopefully next time we come back, I assume next time we come back, we'll talk about another thrilling Vikings win over the Cowboys, another great Justin Fields game and a loss. And hopefully the Timberwolves are better then too. Hopefully they beat Orlando. Let's just start with that. I think that could just be the turn the corner. Beat Orlando. But anywho, I'm Marcel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at @Styles_RappersLife. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at @Styles_RappersLife. It's cool. Fields still QB1, and I'm loving the name now. I'm doubling down on it. The Bears are losing. Fields is great. It's just everything a Bears fans could ask for it from this year. But yeah, make sure you give me a follow.
Sir, appreciate you guys listening. This is Will signing off. Check me out at Sports Talk Willie. And as always, check out the main page at Across the Plane. Skull Vikings, baby.
Jake the Rookie, THA like Across the Plane. Thanks for joining us Until next time, peace.